friends, including fellow Iowa Democratic Party Progressive Caucus members, a new caucus that we just formed this last summer, and I'm proud to say that I was one of the founding members. And it's amazing to see so many people stepping up and really talking about the progressive issues that are important to us. When I tell people I'm running against Steve King, I usually get, bless you, sometimes a hug, and then inevitably, you're so brave. Has nothing to do with being brave. I am more afraid that we will lose our voice than I would ever be afraid of running against Steve King. I'm sure a lot of you are very familiar with a lot of the crazy things that my opponent has said, but trust me, we don't have time to talk about that right now. The bad thing about it is what ends up happening is that we lose sight of the fact that, you know, he says all these things, but in reality, he's not doing anything for Iowa. In the 14 years that he's been in Congress, he has taken home salary of $2.5 million, but not passed a single bill. Not one. Not one. As a matter of fact, he was rated the least effective member of Congress. Dead last. Dead last. So I had to laugh the other day when he was on the soapbox and he said that he could work with Hillary Clinton. He can't even work with his fellow Republicans. But the sad thing is, we look at what he does or doesn't do for Iowa, and what he does is hurt us. My opponent last year co-sponsored the National Right to Work bill, which those of us who really know, that's really the National Right to Work for Less bill. And I am a strong and proud AFSCME member, and I will fight for bargaining rights and family financial security, because as progressives, we know that we all do better when we all do better. Steve King tried to keep our children from going to college when he voted to cut funding for Pell Grants. I'm a single mom, and I know that there's a lot of people out there who have kids, they're going to college, they will be going to college. There are very few people in this state who can afford to pay for their college. And I believe that any student who has the drive, the determination, and the ability to get into college should not have the door shut on them. He attempted to pull the rug out from under our senior citizens when he voted to privatize Social Security and voucherize Medicare. That's right, boo. I'm a long-term care ombudsman, and what that means is that I advocate for people in nursing homes and assisted livings. Every time I go into a nursing home, close to 50% of the people there are on Medicaid. And what that means is they had to sell everything that they owned just to be able to get the care that they needed. When I'm elected, I will push to strengthen Social Security as well as expand Medicare to cover nursing homes and assisted livings, because no Iowan should have to go into poverty just to be cared for. Our friends at Emily's List are very familiar with my opponent. As a matter of fact, while defending Todd Akin, he commented about how, you know, he didn't know of anybody who had gotten pregnant by rape or incest. Really? Yeah, really. The man has to go, because we know that the path to decreasing unwanted pregnancies is actually increasing funding for Planned Parenthood and access to reliable and affordable health care. My opponent wants to do away with the EPA and doesn't believe that there's a water quality problem. I'm not sure where he's from, but we all know that we really need to be looking at the water quality issues. Last week when I was on the soapbox, I talked about how I believe that we should start looking at industrial hemp as a use to mitigate nitrates and erosion. I think it's something that we need to look at, because as Iowans, and I'm a lifelong Iowan, we know that our land is a sacred trust and we must protect it, not just for now, but for our children and our grandchildren. I know this is an uphill battle. I have a lot of friends all over the state who are organizing a Retire Steve King party for me, and they're going to be knocking on doors, they're going to be making phone calls, and it's a huge battle. Last week, I was inducted into the Daughters of the American Revolution, because I am a proud descendant of a real patriot that fought against the tyranny of a king. So even though it's going to be difficult, we need to show the nation that the descendant of a true patriot can dethrone yet another king. Thank you.